An error, we began to gain control over it. We used it to enhance our...
Welcome to Albion TV presents the AO Daily Show, your source of real news in an unreal world, keeping you up to date on the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online. Today is Friday the 13th of December, and I'm your host, Shozen, and with me today is my co-host, Bogul. Good afternoon, Bogul. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm doing well. Should we worry about the date of today's show, or are we just going to ignore it?
Wait, what? Oh, the 13th of December on a Friday? It's the last Friday the 13th in all of 2019. Should be a special show. Nothing unusual is going to happen. It's going to be completely normal, and we will be fine. There won't be any horribly cringy moments towards the end of the show.
All right. Today's show is a continuation of sorts of yesterday's show. On Friday, we usually do either community things, or if important news get in the way, then we talk about these, and that is the situation today. Yesterday, we saw the standalone season roundtable conference call one leak on Reddit. And that is something we discussed for about 40 something minutes yesterday, and we didn't even get through half of that. So that's going to be the big content part of today's show. But before we talk about that, we do have a bunch of PSAs, reminders, official news.
We have news, we have official. It just keeps coming. This has been a jam-packed week, Bogle. Started a little slow, but you know,
it seems like somebody in the office decided, all right, everybody prepare an article for next week.
Yeah, they started coming out on Saturday.
Release,
We got articles on Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, I'm ready, Bogle. What do we got for them today? I see the PSAs. We're going to talk about Retroman's power updates, I guess, right? We'll pull that up. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. But Bogle, do you want to explain what's going on here for the uneducated, the uninformed, and the me's of the world?
Well, we knew that Retroman has announced in the past a change to the item power scaling of gear in Albion, and that was a while back, and there was a slight update to that thread yesterday where he announced further bonuses that will be possible through mastery modifiers, where you get, if you have a certain mastery level, additional bonuses on your item power depending on the tier of item that you wear. And for example, you get 5% additional IP for tier 5 gear and 20% additional IP for wearing tier 8 gear. And that sort of serves as a incentive to wear higher tier gear when you do have high spec. I think.
Well, yeah. I think it's more to make it so that you... Before, I think people who had high spec could get away with just lower gear. Like, you could use T41 with overcharged and a high spec, and you could be fine for Anglia. But not, like, with the changes to the game that are coming up with Queen, with the changes to the availability that we've already seen to 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, and the further ones that are coming, it just makes sense to start rewarding and encouraging more people to use higher end gear. And we've already seen that starting to take place with the removal of the soft IP cap that we had. Well, we currently have. That will be going away, I guess, because it hasn't gone away yet. I feel like I keep talking about these things that are going to happen like they're already happened because, I mean, in my mind, they're here. I'm ready. Bogle, I'm ready.
Yes, I'm ready too, but we still have to wait about 30-something days.
37 days. I feel like I'm going to know exactly how many days as it's going on. I'm just going to count them all down. Like some kids are like counting down Christmas with their little advent calendar. I'm counting down like the release of the next big patch for my video game. I'm like, ooh, I'm so excited. We're going to have a new map. Not going to be able to see it all at once, but still going to have a new map. Oh, wait, no, that's not true, Bogle. I bet you I can buy a rug.
Talking about the new map, though, there was also news about the item migration and player migration released. Because characters are in the current Outlands somewhere or about, and they have stuff in the Outlands, and there needs to be a solution to figure out what will happen to that gear and the exact rule set of what will go where, what kind of chests will get moved, and how, and this will all happen in detail, also has been announced yesterday. I don't think we have time to go through all of these again today, but be aware that the exact rule set exists. I linked it in Twitch chat if you want to read it in detail. I suppose the most important thing is what is not automatically getting saved and is what is not automatically getting moved for you, and that is the contents of marketplaces in guild home territories in the Outlands, stuff that people have placed in territories in the Outlands, for example, furniture, chests, and all the contents of these, and stuff that is farmable in Outlands territories. So like a pasture, or if you have a direwolf pup growing in the Outlands territory or something like this, these three things will not get moved, including, of course, buildings that are still existed and that will not get destroyed before Queen.
Did we just hear something about buildings, Bogul?
We did as well, yes.
I should probably pull that up now, huh?
That's the last of the official news that we have today. That is a further announcement that they are looking at a temporary, I think, reduction or change to the resource return rate when you demolish buildings. Right now, if you demolish a building that you own, you don't get the full amount of resources back. And in preparation for Queen, they will do a 100% resource return on these.
So nice of them.
Yes. Yeah, so they haven't figured out exactly when this will make it into the game, but prior to Queen, for sure. Oh, and I wanted to mention one more thing, that they now also have released the exact locations of where your stuff will get moved to based on the zone that your stuff has been in. It's a huge list. It's in the other thread I linked in Twitch chat as well. But basically, if you are sort of actually know where you left your stuff, then you will know where you will find it. Honestly, I will just go through all 5 cities and be like, all right, what do I have here? Let's see.
I'm pretty lucky. While there are a lot of towers I've left my stuff in, there are mostly Carleone towers. So I can basically stay right where I am and just pick it up because it was all Mercia stuff. So I'm kind of lucky in that sense. But it was everywhere in Mercia, and there was no way I was ever going to get it all because I don't own those towers anymore. Well, actually, no, I don't. I'm kicked out of I have no guild. But I'll still be getting my stuff, guys. Still be getting my stuff. I'm excited.
Yes, excitement is definitely in the air. Do we want to start with the big topic today, Shozen?
It's time. Hold on. Let me just do it. Let's just skip all this nonsense that we were talking about. Like Bogul, I'm glad we had news to talk about. I am. I'm often sad that we don't have enough news to talk about, especially on Fridays, because the end of the week and we just generally don't have enough to do. And sometimes I have to, come up with a last minute interview or make up some strange fan fiction just to fill the time. But Bogul, today we had too much news.
And we will definitely go over.
And we're going to go over. It's going to be a long show.
We will get this done today, regardless of how long it takes.
Yes.
I assume it's about the same length like yesterday, so probably half an hour.
We can hope. But there's a good chance it's just going to be a really long time, guys. And I am sorry for that. But
that's okay.
It's in the interest of I don't know what completeness, consistency, funsies. But I do have raffles for everybody. So we will be giving away 3 more raffles during this show. I'm going to close this one that we just had. That was the early bird raffle that we just had. And I'm going to do actual raffles during today's show because I have some extra ones left over, Bogle, and I think it's a nice thing to do. Yeah.
So what we are seeing on the
Hideouts.
screen then is the the original version of what was copy pasted onto Reddit. And that is a summary from a roundtable call. For those of you who don't know, there is the roundtable who sometimes or is mostly comprised of guild leaders and some high-ranking officers and some affiliates like us, yay. And we get maybe once every 2 months or so, we get the opportunity to talk to the devs for about 1 or 2 hours in this sort of Q&A form. And the thing you see on the screen now is the minutes or the write-up of that conversation. It's based on questions asked and then the answers and responses to the devs. And within that call, a lot of details that are not yet publicly known were explained to everybody. And we will just go through each of these one by one. And
let's start talking about that hideout. Just to hit it. Hideouts, well, a hideout is an item, Bogle. It's a hideout kit that you can craft that weighs about 2,250 kilograms. Or kg, I'm just guessing that's what it is, that you take to the Outlands and place like a furniture item. It takes a couple of seconds to place, and its channel can be disrupted. There are certain limitations, such as you must be in a guild, only 1 hideout per guild per cluster, a global limit of 6 hideouts per guild, and can't be placed in collision or too close to other game-critical objects and hideouts. It can only be placed during the cluster prime time. Let's unpack some of that, Bogle, and talk about that, shall we?
Sure. First thing, what is 2,250 kilograms? How much is that? I looked it up for you. It's if you have a tier 8 ox normal and a tier 8 bag normal and nothing else in your inventory, then it's about 85% of your inventory. It will be full with that kit. So it can be transported on oxen throughout the world, and that is nice, but it's still very heavy. We don't know how much it will cost. We didn't ask about this. We don't have any information. We know it's probably silver, and that's about it. What we confirmed now, right? Publicly.
Yeah,
there's some NDA info there.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say we know what it costs, but you guys don't. So we can't really talk about exactly what it costs, but there are some ideas out there on what it is. But this is the public info that's out there on what it's going to cost. Yeah, guys, it's going to be heavy. It's going to cost time, effort, and a massive ox to get yourself up there with like a T8 ox and probably some guys to help you. You're going to need a guild. I know there are a couple of solo players who are interested in dropping these and creating their own kinds of like mini player cities. They can do that, but they're going to have to ahead. What?
Oh no.
Do we have more new news?
Yes. We do have the test server patch notes for the Queen update, which is basically 5 hours ago. Damn it.
So I've been watching a lot of die inside videos recently, like watch these people die inside, and I feel like if I watch this back right now, I could see myself die inside a little bit right now. How long does this episode have to be to cover all this information, Bogle? Whew. All right, let's do this. All right, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna flex. We're gonna get this on. All right, shake it out a little bit, Bogle. Are you ready? We're going to live.
No, I'm still scrolling down in terms of the patch notes.
Oh, God. Wait. The patch notes that you were just linked.
Well, the test server patch notes, yes. It's not too long, but I think we should do the normal show as is, and then see how much time we have.
And because I think Test
And
notes.
to do it in chronological order, it makes more sense to do
Okay,
this.
so we'll do this,
daily,
then we'll hit that, then we'll hit the special guest star. So it's going to be an hour and a half long show, guys. Maybe we'll get to watch crystals in the background halfway through the show. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Okay, so big deals is it can only be placed during its cluster prime time here. When it is placed, there's a 20-minute construction period where the hideout can be attacked by anyone with a siege hammer, a demolition hammer, demo hammer, bang bang. If it survives that, then it will be marked on the cluster map. Once it's there, everybody can see it, guys. Once it's on the cluster map, you can see it. It's on the dang map. Another 24 hours.
We don't know how many hideouts can be in a zone, but based on the proximity, there will be a limit of how many can be there. I saw that question in chat. I just wanted to pick it up briefly. But there is no official limit that comes with that, I think.
Yeah, there's a limit, a physical limit, but there isn't and that will create a theoretical limit, but there is no hard cap going, you can't have more than 7 in a zone. It's what you can fit in there, and I'm sure some zones will allow for more than others, because one of the things that they said that sounds very important to me is they can't be placed near game critical objects. And there's a bunch of those out there. Some zones are going to have more than others. All right. So another 24 hours later, after the construction site becomes vulnerable again for another 20 minutes, if it survives the second phase, then it becomes an established hideout. Like a real infestation. From then on, it can be entered and used as a bank. There will also be a repair station and 5 construction spots on level 1. Setting access rights is similar to those used in islands, and public hideouts can be made, and there are no resident limits. So you can just have as many people living there as you'd like. You could have all of Arch living out of one hideout. Wouldn't that be fun if they all just started popping out of there at 18 UTC?
Definitely a busy thing, I would imagine. Yeah, the way you set it up is interesting. It has to be done over time, so people who sort of own the zone can't just have a bunch of hideouts dropped in their front yard. There needs to be some sort of invulnerability system that allows for people who only have their main playtime at a certain time to accommodate for that. And of course, you can upgrade these hideouts as well. You have to first make one, have it survive for the first level, and then you can, I think, immediately upgrade it to the next level, but that takes time.
It takes time, it takes resources, and it takes other stuff. We don't know.
The thing, of course, gets better. It has more spaces. The second level of hideout has a marketplace, a farming merchant, expedition agents, and it sort of can self-sustain. I don't quite understand that now, to be honest. Maybe that's in reference to, like, if you own the territory and have a hideout there, and then the farm plots who might be there, then it can. But the hideouts themselves don't have their own farming thing, so I don't quite understand how this can.
I understand that they took, at one point there were going to be farm plots inside them, from what I understood, but they weren't going to be enough to make it self-sustained. I think that this means it can be like self-sustained, as in it has everything you need for a town. It's got the things that you need to, like, it's got an auction house, it's got a farming merchant, it's got an expedition agent, it's got everything that you need. It's got enough space at this point crafting wise, so that you can have all your refiners and buildings. That's what I think it means.
I see.
Because level 3 then goes to the next level up, right? Then you get your artifact forge, your crystal realm mage, so you can sign up for crystal fights from anywhere. More construction space, so you can probably put up a guild hall. It's got the best defenses, in that it's got 6 shield. Basically, this is the luxury version of a guild home plot.
I am curious how much this will be price tag wise.
It's luxury.
Sure.
It's going to...
How much is luxury, Shozen, for a guild? 100, 200, 300 mil? Is
Luxury.
that luxury?
Luxury. Well, I know it's like guilds that can drop 300 million on a single fight. So
Interesting.
if does that's the thing, does it cost more than a single city fight? Like if you were to have a city fight, 20 versus 20, and you had to gear out a city fight, does the hideout cost more than that? I think not. How luxury can
Well,
it be?
these hideouts also get crafting bonuses. They inherit them from the biome that they are located in. These bonuses, these crafting and refining bonuses, will be similar to the city bonuses. So there, you know, sort of what you can expect from your surroundings, and that will make for some interesting tactical decision making there. You know, if you can have 2 or 3 hideouts, and if you can supply 2 or 3, maybe you pick various biomes in a range, and then you can almost cover all of the good ones in terms of bonuses.
I think you could, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Of
going to
course,
be very
these
interesting. Go ahead.
hideouts require food, nutrition points, and the owner of a hideout can pay tribute to the owner of the territory of the zone. So there you can establish some sort of rental system as well, which I think the devs assume that these sort of agreements will happen anyways, right? So that's just good to have a formalized version in the game already.
Yeah, I think
So
that makes it easier. It's just to
yeah,
make it easier. Like it's not going to force anybody to do it. You can't force anybody to pay you. It's just that way, if it's done, you have a record of it being done with some kind of in-game mechanic. And I think that's nice, and it's just a friendly, kindly thing for them to include it. But it does make me wonder, Bogle, if something so small is just the tip of something greater in the future. I always wonder with these kinds of mechanics, is this something that could lead to more once you start something like this? I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
I mean, for now it's going to be hideouts, I think, but because of the one point you see here in the notes, there it says that right now, if you want to destroy a hideouts, that's done via attacking it with a bunch of siege hammers. But apparently, the plan is to expand siege mechanics and eventually get siege mounts and abilities to attack buildings.
Yeah, that's huge because we've been talking about that like with castles and stuff. That it would be great if castles doors could be taken down with siege weapons, not just the hammers. Because in our game we have these giant freaking mammoths that erupt the ground in front of them when they stomp and make noises, yet they can't hurt a wooden door.
The great limitations of game design. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe sometime we get a siege mammoth with like.
Yeah, I hope we do. I think that'd be really, really cool. It's like one of those things to look forward to down the line. Not tomorrow, not on the 20th, but down the road. Do we want to talk more about these tributes? Because they did give us a little bit about it.
I think we have to mention one more thing in that regard, because once damn hideouts get destroyed, the question is again what happens to the stuff inside. And the base answer is everything will get destroyed except for stuff in personal player banks. Anything, you know, buildings and stuff in the guild vault will go poof, but stuff that you have in your personal bank will go into recovery, as they call it. And recovery takes a few weeks and will cost silver based on the weight to recover at a later point in time. So players who, you know, go on holiday to visit Aunt Marta and then just are stuck there for 2 weeks and suddenly their guild folds in game, they don't lose all their personal stuff, at least.
Cool. You don't want to lose all your personal stuff.
No.
All right, so on to the tributes real quick. Let's talk about those. Is there anything in these that we really need to highlight from the tributes that you noticed?
No, it's just an opt-in system, and of course you can just turn it off at any time. So if you want to backstab the territory owner or cause some trouble, you can just disable that and be like, "Well, I don't pay. Evict me if you dare."
Okay. And the evacuation details, we just kind of went over those a little bit. It's that there's just going to be a giant tab that you can retrieve your stuff from. You'll get it back. There's not a cost. You'll be fine.
I think these evacuation details are in reference to the global situation
Oh,
that we
okay.
just had the announcement of today and then yesterday.
Oh,
So
yes,
that's
this
the
is
thing
yes, I see
with
that.
all
That's
the.
the one with
Mhm.
the war vaults and the battle vaults and the war camps and the
Yeah.
battle. Yeah, everything in the world coming back to you that you once misplaced, except for the things that aren't coming back because they expressly said those few things that aren't coming, such as the stuff you're growing out in the world and your buildings that you have the ability to destroy now for 100% return. How nice is that? Get all your stuff back. That's what you've always wanted, all your stuff back. I wonder if we're gonna see people come back and get their stones back. You know, go like, okay, I was the one who farmed all these stones back in the day. I want my building back now. Can I have it back? No, I know I donated it, but I also left. Can I have my donation back, please?
I don't think that's how it works now. No.
No.
Do you want to move on to respawn mechanics?
Yeah, I do.
Because that's
I'm already on
that's
it.
okay. So the question is, what about respawn? In the Outlands, the hideouts will have a home functionality that you right now do have in your guild hall in your territory as well. So right now, how it works, you have to go have a house or a guild hall where you can then bind as home. But if you die, you can choose to respawn either at home or at a city. But in case you respawn at a city, you lose that home bind. And the option to respawn at more closest territory is gone. So when you die, it will be a significant decision, whether or not you go back to your hideout or if you go back to a city and then have to walk all the way back to wherever you died.
If players choose to respawn in the city, they lose that home.
Hmm.
Wow.
I mean, that's the current plan. I know there's some discussion around that, but I think that's going to be it for the beginning, at least. Because otherwise, you could just teleport around, and then it's kind of weird.
Fun Stealers ruining the fun for everybody. We should just call him Spoiler. You know, Life Wrecker. Life Wrecker.
Life wrecker.
Yeah, just a ruiner. Just a ruiner in general.
All right, next.
All right, nope. I'm pulling a
public
raffle.
hideouts.
We're on to the next topic. I'm pulling a raffle, and the winner is, wow, following since 15 minutes ago, Zavon. Congratulations.
The question came up whether or not you can make a hideout public. I think I said that yesterday. Basically, the idea is whether or not you can have everybody visit you. And as far as I understand it, the permission and access rights work similar to guild islands, meaning that you can give whole alliances or whole guilds or specific players, or maybe even all players, access to that hideout. Inside the hideout, there won't be PvP. But maybe we will have some sort of trade neutral cities or something in the future.
I think we will. I think, like we talked about, we already know of a number of players who are trying to get themselves established as a little player city, and I think that'll be cool. It's how these other cities work, the current cities that we have. The distance that will be introduced is going to be the big thing. Like they said, like the idea of having to get to where your content is. That will be one of the biggest decisions to keep you, or I don't know, the biggest reasons to stay where you live. You know what I mean? To play where you live, to play and live in your territory that your guild owns, to build that territory up using the Crystal Tower mechanics and live out of it. I really feel like they're doing everything they can, game mechanic wise, to start pushing that in the direction.
Let's see, hideouts versus cities. The TLDR is that devs will work towards making hideouts a viable base. In terms of balancing that, it will take some time, but that's how it goes. And that's more or less about hideouts. Do we have anything else in regards to hideouts, or is
Not right here. I think we can finally move on to the random elite dungeons, which is, I feel like for a lot of people, this is going to be new news. We've hinted at this. They've talked about this a little bit, but we've never really had any solid news on the randomized elite dungeons for 20 players. The changes to dungeon diving, having I don't want to call it a safe area, but a place where you can actually go and do some high level content out in the world.
I mean, two important things here. There won't be too many changes to static dungeons, right, with Queen, but there will be something new for quote unquote higher level PvE content, and they call it large scale content for 20 players with elite mobs. And as you said, there will be some sort of system to alert players that somebody else is coming in. It won't be entirely safe, like a hardcore expedition, for example, but it at least gives the people who are doing the PvE some time to prepare, which is, I think, the biggest hurdle that you saw, because you always had these specialized PvP optimized groups diving the PvE people,
Right.
and then they always had trouble, changing their spells, and they didn't have time to react properly to the new situation. And that is, I think, a very good, interesting thing.
No, I think it is too. To give people, I don't want people to just leave the dungeons when they feel like there's pressure. I want them to actually be able to fight. And if you give them a warning, I honestly think that people will be able to switch over and start changing over to PvP should it happen, especially if it's in a place where they're trying to hold on to their territory. You know what I mean? Like if it's your place and they come into your place, you want to hold it. But it's often hard to hold it in a PvE situation because you come there with PvE gear and PvE builds. And sometimes it's not too hard to switch over to a PvP build. But if you don't have a warning that they're coming, it can be very difficult because you don't have time to switch over. It takes 10 seconds to, do it at least, just skill-wise. And if the first time you notice that somebody is going to be there to attack you is when they're running up on you while you're already attacking mobs, you're not even getting that 10 seconds.
I mean, this change, this alert system for the dungeons will, I think, be exclusive to the 20-player elite content.
Yeah, I think
so. So I don't think they will change any of the other randomized dungeons with Queen. If that thing is well adapted and interesting, then I think they might consider doing that for the others, but I don't think this will be in with Queen. So just to prevent some thoughts there that your dungeons will not be safe or something. PvP will always happen because PvE is not always entirely safe.
Yeah, you still should be able to go after people. It's not like you're making them immune. You're giving them a warning, and you have to pay attention. So it's like your naked scout is provided to you by the game now. All right, so dungeon diving specifically. Roundtable members said that dungeon diving is dead content and asked if there are any plans to rework this, as there should be an idea of fighting for your fame. Dev stated this experience, they want to go back with static dungeons, where you can expect dungeon dives, and random dungeons are more for PvE players, and PvP should be less expected in the random. So it's interesting. Roundtable members discussed the grottos from back in the day. I was a big fan of those. I would love to see them back, personally. But they've stated that the overall feedback back in the day was the players hated them. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, if you don't remember, there was underground ways where you could go overland between zones like you can do now, but there was also, similar to the underway in where you can go into Carleon, there was ways to go between zones through the underground, through tunnels, and there was a bunch of exits, I think 4 that connect 4 zones, and then there was like a sort of another zone below 4 of them. It's like underground situation. A lot of people, I like it too. I'd like to see it back.
I like to know. See, my favorite times were when I knew I was going to get a fight every day from the same experience. And some of the grottos, and I always think of Earth Mother, early Earth Mother, when there were only, it was one of the 2 events in the world. And the idea of the timed PvE that really drove that drove people to PvP at the same time. Like it was the best. It was the best silver. It was the best fame. It brought everybody together. And I would like to see something like that that really brings people together again. And the Grottos did that in a way because it said, here's the PvE that you want to do, but you're pretty much guaranteed to run into somebody because there are 4 entrances here and somebody's going to run into you soon because all 4 entrances lead to the same grand prize. And it was interesting. I mean, sure, you would have the people who ended up running the cycles and going around in circles and doing the same thing, and it often got into a situation. There was a lot of hand-holding during that period. It was... I understand some of the complaints that people had, but I did like the idea of, like, consistent PvP in my PvE. And while I do understand the
PvP
idea of moving it out
your
of...
PvE, though.
Huh? Okay.
Do you want to move on? Because
I
think
just wanted to say one thing, though,
Grottos
is that I like the idea of having both. Like, I like the idea of having challenging PvE that is challenging for the sake of PvE and can have PvP, but challenging PvE because it's challenging because you will have PvP. And those are 2 different styles of PvE that are both challenging, both include both PvP and PvE, and I would like to see both included in the game for their types. But when you have it based off of PvP, the rewards are very, very important. And it shouldn't be a participation reward. It should be a winner's reward. And that is very hard to do in a combination of PvE, PvP content, is give that one person a really good reward for toughing it out and being, you know, the one who stood through all the danger. And I really want to get that stuff back. I miss that back from early concept of Earth Mother.
Hellgates?
Hellgates or Overcharge?
Well, there is some complaints about people ratting in Hellgates, and they will look into that and try to do some fixes to that. They don't quite exactly know how to yet, but they will look into it and try to deal with some of the annoyances of people, quote unquote, ratting Hellgates and just running away or doing cheesy builds. And yeah, we don't know exactly what, but they will look into this. I think that's enough for Hellgates.
Yeah. It's just that they're looking into the ratting situation that's going on in there. They want to make them more balanced overall. All right, Overcharge. What's going to be done with Overcharge, Bogul? I hear that they're going to change the cost. Okay, I just want to make sure that was in here. Greatly increasing the cost of Overcharge with Queen to help balance out the difference between high-end gear and low-end gear. It shouldn't be just a thing where low-end players drop it on to be highly competitive. That wasn't what it was supposed to be doing.
Right. I mean, the question is then, what does it, quote unquote, mean to increase the cost of overcharge? Because there's 2 ways you can sort of define cost. One is just requiring more siphoned energy, and the other way around is by doing a higher destruction chance. And I think, I don't know if it's in the patch notes, but I think you will just get higher energy use, or the amount of energy consumed when you overcharge is just higher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the exact amount, but I think that's how they...
Yeah, I think they said 10.
Okay. It's already on that. Okay, cool. 10. Mm-hmm.
All right. Transport contracts. Remember when they brought this up, Bogle? What did they have to say about this? I believe this is when we started getting in on the call.
Well, the topic of transport contracts, I think I made a topic asking about this or requiring or hoping or bringing this up in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I have always been told it's not high enough on the priority list because there's so many other things we want to get done first. And to me, honestly, it felt like it's the same answer. Because there's other things that are in the way of getting that done, such as an overview of where your assets are, and maybe figuring out logs and how to deal with completed contracts, and basically writing this whole contract system so it's working properly. And I think that just takes a lot of dev time. Mm-hmm. And that's like a main bigger feature that just takes away stuff.
I think maybe in the future we'll hear about it, but it would probably have to be like where they come up with an entire system that adds more than just that. You know what I mean? If they're going to add something that complex, it has to add more than just that one thing. And so it's in this stage of how do we add to this to make this useful? If we can find a way to make this even better for players, other than just the simple contracts that have already been proposed, then maybe you can see them put in the effort to do that. But it's so hard to just say we're going to add an entire new system just to.
I mean, to
facilitate
me,
player
it's
goods.
a lot of people underestimate what you as a guild can do with a contracts system, because there's so much overhead that you can reduce by contract. It deals with asynchronous trading, where people don't have to be online at the same time. It deals with separating or giving gear to your members for certain reasons that you have. There's a lot of organizational things that you can get rid of, or organizational time eaters that you can rid of with this. So I never understood why it doesn't get prioritized higher, but it's let's move on.
Moving on. Yeah, we have like 9 more topics to get through in. Whew. All right, so city crafting bonuses. The main take out of this is that they're going to be adding bonuses to Carleon for food, potions, and tools, and that Carleon is likely to play a more central role in faction warfare post-Queen, as they're probably going to be doing some faction warfare
post-Queen, though.
Post-Queen, so like in the patch after Queen. So like not the week after Queen, post-Queen.
I heard in chat the other day that people are like, oh, that's the right thing for you. Nice. Enjoy your crafting tools, dude. And I was like, what? No, tools isn't bags. Sorry. I think bags and capes will be the only thing in the game crafting-wise, maybe including beds and chests and stuff, that doesn't have a bonus to it.
Speaking of crafting, multi-accounting and focus as a crafter, what do they have to say about that, Bogul?
That's one personal complaint I have, that if you are a maxed out crafter or a high level crafter, then it's very hard to scale, because in theory the assumption is that if you have multiple high-level trees unlocked as a crafter, then you have the option to always choose what is the most profitable to use your focus on at that time. And I feel like once you want more focus, you don't want more unlocks necessarily at a certain point. So the problem is, of course, how you deal with that economy-wise, and I think it's just a very hard problem. And there's essentially no real answer to that.
No, there isn't. It's just a fundamental problem that develops with the style of the game that we have, with some of the limitations that are put in place and making it free to play so that people can create multiple accounts free. It just creates a problem. Gear quality control. Quality
in terms of what your item qualities, right? When you craft something, you have 5 different qualities: normal, good, outstanding, exceptional, and masterpiece. And the desire from some crafters is that you have some sort of control over what your items can be, but there's apparently no plans to do that right now. They're looking into this, I know, but for Queen, nothing.
Do we want to talk about the black market real quick? Let's get through this in 30 seconds or less.
Black market, the issue is that it feels like that if you sell stuff to the black market, that your higher quality gear should sell at a higher price, but the demand for for high quality items is not as you would expect for based on its rarity. It's fairly complex. Basically, they're looking at balancing potentially some of that black market demand, but the problem is that black market demand is based on the actual crafting chance, and you can't do it too differently, because then you would create demand that's not being able to supply the game. It's fairly confusing. It's basically black market balancing, and they will review that.
Yeah, like one of the ones that did step out to me here, though, was the idea that the tools currently do drop or are used on the black market, but they're only dropped by guardians and rare critters. So they're going to look into seeing if that can be changed a little bit, because for people who do make tools, not having access to the actual black market to sell through like your junk level tools is kind of, I mean, might be nice for people.
If they allow a bonus in Carleon and have 4 tools in Carleon and have the black market in Carleon, guess who's building another 100 islands full of tinkerers to make tools there?
I don't know, Bogle. Who?
I don't know.
You're supposed to go
Somebody.
this guy and then point 2 thumbs at your chest and go just. All right.
Yes.
Vanity items. When are we getting vanity items, Bogle? And what are they gonna do? Are we gonna get a wardrobe with Queen? Is that what's gonna happen? Yes, we will. Will you be able to change your visual appearance? Yes, you will. Will it be similar to mount skins? Yes, it will. Will it come with new skins that are buyable with gold? Yeah. Anything else I should say?
No.
All right. Avalonian Invasion. Will there be more events like the Avalonian Invasion in the future? The dev stated that this event is exceptional because they wanted to mark such a big change with something epic. We're remaking the world. We get to destroy it, and you only get to do that once. But they'll look forward to doing it in the future, maybe.
So the answer is I think
when
they're
they
looking
blow up
into doing
Carleon.
events like this, but not.
Like when we blow up Carleon. Because Tazik and I, our plan is to go over to Berlin. We're going to get Robin real drunk, right? And then we're going to convince him to blow up Carleon. And we're just going to delete it. And then we're going to need to spend months making story that explains what the hell just happened. So we'll have another event season.
Yeah. I just downloaded the tester patch of the back.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. You're getting ready to go over there. Oh,
So
my God.
Guild asset management and permissions. There was some discussion around theft, that it's too easy to steal stuff too quickly. And there was a little bit of discussion around whether or not you could put in some systems to prevent that. But I know that this is, in the ideas collection phase. There's nothing more to say there.
This discussion went on a very long time. With the problem is that there's no solution to the problem that doesn't drastically change the way that the game is currently done. The solutions proposed to slow down theft make the rest of the game more difficult. And I think that theft is honestly just a thing we're going to have to deal with. And the best way to deal with it is to just compartmentalize. You have the ability to compartmentalize now. Just
there's other ways to do stuff. Like if you imagine a huge business with like hundreds of assets and factories and stuff, you can't just take everything, like all the assets, the whole factory, a house, within a few seconds, right? You basically have to pay for an army and then just build for a truck and take it. And that's a weird metaphor, but the idea is similar, that you shouldn't be able to steal too much too fast.
I just don't know how do you balance that with
withdrawal limits? You have certain access rights. You have granular defined access rights. For example, you can do guild wallet divisions, right, where you have different guild wallets that are usable by different members.
That might be the wallet. Yes, I can understand that. But we
auction
have
house permissions,
the rest
this kind of
that.
stuff. There's a lot you can do.
Okay, Bogle says there's a lot we can do. Maybe he should get on that panel. Combat specialization. Roundtable asked if there are plans to add more layers of combat specializations. Devs do not have concrete plans on this right now, but they have been discussing on improvements and creating more long-term goals for it, without making it too harsh for new players to catch up. When you get to the end of the game, it is rough. There's not much left to do.
Shozen, I think after the roundtable, Retroman sat down. It's like, let's think about tier 8. And then he, like a week later, was like, "That's our solution."
Yeah, okay. Make T8 viable. Yeah. I think you're right. I think that he made it so that mastery is more important. He made it so that T8 is usable, and that there's more T8 out there to be used, and that the idea is to allow T8 and the artifacts to become more useful at the end levels. Bogle, we're almost there. You know what they asked about? They asked about the roadmap.
Yeah, because we like, as soon as you know everything, you're like, all right, what's next?
Yep. As soon as you get told what's coming out today, you want to know what's coming out 18 months from now, guys. What's coming out 18 months from now? That's how long the roadmap. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, they will update it at some point closer to Queen. Yeah. And the last thing that is on the notes here is that they asked about the buff list below your character portrait, as it currently only allows you to see 8 buffs. That's apparently been on the backlog for a while, in terms of UI, but it's not a high priority. They will look into it and probably deal with it fairly soon after Queen, I think.
All right.
And that is the notes for the roundtable call that happened to...
Oh, well, there was Did you talk about the buffs?
Yes.
Okay, I must not have been listening.
What did you get? What are you reading? Didn't you listen?
Next. I'm reading next. All right, so Bogul, do we want to... We're at 50 minutes into this show. And we've got another entire thing of patch notes. Can we do the patch notes on Monday?
Instead of last week? I think what we can do is spend 10 minutes just opening it and do like a first reaction to it.
All right, send me the link.
Like a reaction live stream video thing. Reaction Shozen, or we could talk to that Morty guy that is supposed to. He's waiting outside, I think, or at least. Yeah. Do you want to do that, or?
Well, I think Morty's gonna be the last thing we do here in the show. So if we do Morty, we're not doing the notes.
Let's do 10 minutes of this and then see.
And I believe his name is Marty, not Morty.
Correspondence.
Marty.
Marty.
Martlock. Marty.
See, I'm already getting the wrong notes from the correspondency department. They sending me all this weird stuff with people I don't even know. We're trying to hire the correspondence from the world because there has been stuff happening recently in Albion.
Yeah,
and we're trying to get to the
bottom of it. Yeah, there's so much going on in the world of Albion, Bogul. It's Did you know that each one of those cities has a different set of portals that it goes to, and those portals lead to different guilds, and those guilds have different ways of playing? There's so many of them, Bogul. There's so much to cover in this world. So, test notes? Okay.
Do we have time, or do you need to be somewhere?
I don't have anywhere to go right now. My kids aren't home, and I'm home alone, and yeah.
So Chad, are we doing this? Are we going?
Holy crap. All right. That is a lot of notes. I guess we're getting to it. It's going to be a long show today, guys. I guess that's just the way that it is. All right. I hope you guys can all hang with us. I'm sorry that it's so long. I don't know. Whew. Yeah. All right. So the new Outlands. The Queen update brings a complete rework of the Outlands. The new content has low-tier zones at the outer edge, with tiers and resource values increasing towards the center. This structure allows guilds of different strengths to compete at their own levels and live in the Outlands in conjunction with numerous other new systems such as hideouts, open-world territory battles, and smart cluster queues. See below. The new Outlands continent also contains 3 small towns, allowing players to use banks, repair stations, and local markets. All clusters within a given Outlands region now share the same prefix for improved search and navigation, and all clusters with portals are clearly indicated by name. For an overview of these changes with intentions behind them, please see this article.
Just a quick information. If you want to, we are reading the test server patch notes. If you're wanting to try these out, you can start the Albion patcher, the Albion client, and select the test server there. And then while you download, you can listen to the stream. And then, yeah, maybe we can shorten that time a little bit.
All right.
Avalon is dungeons, Avalon armor, a new faction.
Yeah.
Randomized dungeons, we know that, which will spawn all two.
Well, do we want to talk about the Avalonians, the elite dungeons, and the Avalonian armor? I don't think we've mentioned the words Avalonian armor yet on this show, Bogul.
No, we haven't. That's new. Where is
Yeah,
that?
it's right here. It says Avalonians, Elite Dungeons, and Avalonian Armor. The Avalonians are a new faction in Albion, consisting entirely of elite mobs and intended for large groups. They can be found in elite randomized dungeons, which spawn in all T6, T8 Outland zones and offer a high-level challenge to groups of 10 to 20 players. In addition to the highest level loot in the game, the final areas of these dungeons contain shrines that offer a week-long PvE fame increase. In addition to the Avalonian mount tools and foods already introduced with the standalone event season, players can now obtain artifacts and shards from defeated Avalonian mobs, which can be crafted into 3 different sets of cloth, leather plate, of powerful Avalonian artifact armor. Oh my god. There's new armor.
There will be. Yes. I think, let me, if I remember this right, because I saw some of that prior, you can, let's see if it's on the test server on the Destiny board. Yeah. You can see the spells that are on there.
Holy cow. Quanta Gaming Cafe just went nuts and dropped a ton. I have no idea how many that was.
100.
What, 100? 100 subs?
What the?
Dude, Quanta. Whoa. Dude, Troma, man. Dude, thank you. Everybody in channels, say thank you for the free sub, because I think everybody now has one. Thank you, Troma, man. It's like, the guy's got an awesome LAN arcade, by the way. As a former LAN arcade runner, I mean, the thing is nice. It's pretty elite. That Quanta Gaming Cafe is elite, dude. It makes me want to go. Like, do you know what I mean, Bogul? You ever seen someplace that you saw it and you went, I want to go game there? All right.
What's the name again? Quanta Gaming
Cafe? Yeah. Troma, the dude he's the one behind it. Yeah, he's, I know that Flaccid Baron is one of the guys in his streaming group. I know there are a bunch of guys in the streaming group, but that's the only one that I've actually had contact with so far. So I would, we're going to have to figure out who else it is. And yeah, wow. Thank you, guys.
We briefly talked to him. He didn't want to have too many details public, right? But yeah, just I think he said because he likes the game and the community and the whole thing. That's very much appreciated, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's just one of those big fans of the community. He says he wants to grow the community overall and the streaming community and keep it alive. And so, guys, just take his example. Go watch more streams, not just mine, but other streams as well. Thank you again. Let's. I think that was we've been distracted pretty thoroughly by that. We're gonna have to get to the other half of this show, though. All right, Bogul. Hideouts. Is there anything new in this right here that says anything about hideouts that we have not covered?
We just discussed it in a lot of detail.
All right.
And it's just the same, yeah.
Okay. Open world territory battles. Guilds can now claim territories via open world battles. This allows all members of a guild to contribute to territory control. While the Zerg debuff introduced with the standalone event season ensures that armies cannot triumph on numbers alone, in conjunction with the updated Crystal Realm battle system, see Crystal League below, territory watchtowers can be upgraded for cluster-wide bonuses that greatly benefit the owning guild. With the Queen update, territories and siege camps are removed from the Royal Continent. Siege camps still exist in Birkenfell, Wire Forest for attacking Carleon. Additionally, Outland territories will no longer have banks, though battle vaults are still available, and can no longer be used as random spawn points. Or, well, it doesn't say random. It just says respawn points. Instead, hideouts can be used as respawn points for Outlands players. Okay, a little bit to unpack there.
I mean, I feel like we knew all of this before. It's just because what we have here is the high-level introduction of their change, right? So that is trying to put the details that we just discussed for like an hour into a introductory statement. And I don't see anything new here. Do you?
Nope.
Okay. Crystal League. High level 5 versus 5 players can now compete in the new Crystal League, which offers rewards like silver, fame, and rare mounts that increase with each successive bracket. We knew that. Access to Crystal League battles requires a token of the correct level and can either be done with an assembled non-guild team asserted via cities or a guild team accessed via owned territories. If the latter option is used, winning the Crystal Realm brings a powerful tower upgrade that will greatly benefit your guild. Yeah.
Level 1 tokens can be purchased from the Energy Manipulator. Winning a battle gives each member of the winning team an entry token for the next higher level battle. Okay.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I think.
I think we've gone over most of this stuff with the Crystal League before. So this isn't anything new. Mostly just a clarification on what we already knew. Smart Cluster Queue. This we're looking for some updated information on, Bogul. Did we get any right here?
When a PvP-enabled territory is overcrowded, players will need to join a queue in order to enter the cluster. The queue assesses a player's guild alliance and strength, and lets players of both sides in as evenly as possible to prevent zone locking and ensure the fairest possible fight.
Interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the details on how this works because, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, nuance to how this works. It's not going to be something straight up figured out overnight. I'm wondering if there's a way to game this system in the future. We will see. All right. Wardrobe, skins, and vanity shop. I think I just raced over this real quick before, right?
Yes.
Do we have anything else to say about this?
Actually, I'm on the test server. Let me look at something. Maybe I can share a screenshot. Oh, it's there. All right. There will be new vanity things. Let me that you can purchase with gold. Again, if you want to see this yourself, you can download the test server patch right now. That is it is published. Shozen, here is something for...
Yeah, send me screenshots because I can't actually get my test server open. I'm going to show this one, though, and put that up from... that seems like an interesting one. Bogul has more of them for me. Oh, God.
That's some vanity items that you can... that's some of the new ones. But
new vanity
there's some
items.
different boots as well. But I don't see any new mounts.
Dude, you can make yourself chubby. Look at that. Oh, sweet.
There's a monk. There's a different dress. There's like a fat dude. That's funny.
Let's see these hats. You know we're all interested in the hats. Hats are very important.
Yes. I think there's like 5 or 10 new things in total.
Bogul, I don't...
Not a huge amount, but
Yeah.
some.
I mean, which one of these hats do you really need? I mean, is this like the Handmaiden's Tale hat? Do you need that? Is that what you need?
There's a hooded one. Wait, let me show you that. I'd send you one more screenshot. There you go.
I'm waiting for the other screenshot. Where is it? There it is. Oh.
I like that.
Oh, look at that. That's Bogul in the wardrobe preview. Look at him. He's looking quite monkly.
I like the humble things. I will splurge on stuff once we have a skin for the mammoth. But for now, I will be the humble one.
All right.
Enchanted stone.
Yeah, did I show that? Did I show Enchanted Stones? Yeah,
no,
I did. No, I didn't. But I showed the hideout
stone?
cost. Where's the Enchanted Stone? Where's the notes on Enchanted Stone? Is that on the test server?
Just right below the vanity. It can now appear
it's right
in
there,
4
in
to
front
8
of me.
zones. And the thing it does is that you have higher efficiency out of refining that. Yeah. So it's not so you can make blinky special stone. It's just that you get more stone blocks out of rocks.
So like you hit the rock is shiny, but into your inventory appear regular rocks.
No, you get shiny rocks, but once you refine them, they just
Oh, so you have to collect the same type of shiny rock. And now how do you refine?
no, just the same way. It's just that when you refine them, you get more for it.
So I'm going to have a lot of extra rocks around. Okay. Okay. I'm ready. I'm going to have a new chest just for rocks. I got it.
The goal of this new resource type is to make it easier to build hideouts and to make boosts to tower levels, and thus the rarity of resources in the cluster matter to stone gatherers. Additionally, this makes it easier and more rewarding to level stone gathering. Thank you. Overdue, says the tier 8 stone gatherer here.
The cursor improvement.
These are cool.
Yeah, this is important. This is super important. Like I
think we should show that when we have in-game footage. I think for Monday we can, have you download the test server patch and then play some.
I'm downloading it right now. It's going to take a little while, unfortunately, because I am streaming at the time. And steel plate Jaguar. Wait, I don't know where that note came from. I'm going to ignore that.
What?
Somebody just sent me a picture of something. I almost just threw it up on screen. And I'm like, I don't know if I can show that. Oh, he says I can. Can I? Is that on test server?
Who? What?
The steel plate Cougar?
Steel plate Cougar.
Yeah.
Cougar.
This guy.
I don't see it as this. I mean, oh, I don't know. Cool. I haven't seen that before.
Neither have I. This looks cool. I like it. It's a good Swiftclaw skin. I like it. We need more of those, by the way.
Let's skip the cursor and UI improvements. Items. Yeah, there's just like tiny stuff. I don't know.
Well, some of this is really
the one thing is that
cool.
if you mouse over stuff, your icon changes now, right? So if you mouse over a mount, it changes to like a saddle icon. If you mouse over a resource, it changes to like a pickaxe icon. If you mount over a hideout door, it changes to a door icon. Stuff like this. This is very nice for readability. But
zooming in on the Destiny board now happens at the cursor's position.
Wow.
No. That's a big deal. I don't want anybody ignoring that one. We're pulling that one out and saying woohoo. All right. Happy Friday the 13th on that one, boys. That's pretty sweet. Oh, what did he send me? Oh wow. More information on the
typing wiki and chat now opens the Albion wiki. Well, I need to try this. Wiki. You're about to minimize the game and open external website. Are you sure? Yes.
We should get that one for Albion TV. Like you type Albion TV, it just goes right to Albion TV. How come I ain't got that link?
But right now it goes to the wiki, the staging wiki. I need to send somebody a message right now.
No, we're going to send them a couple of messages right now, Bogul. I like the map shows the local bonuses, Bogul.
It does.
Yeah, that's cool. That's real cool.
Let's see. Item sorting improvements. Okay, cool. Easier to sort. That's cool. Audio improvements. Ambience music turned down a little. Audio fixes. All right, that's cool. Additional updated world boss icons, so you can better see stuff. That's cool. Every city on the royal continent will now have its own version of Conqueror's Hall. Outlands portals can now be found within this building in each city except Carleon. See portal changes below. Yeah, so basically where the portal was, or or is right now in the royal cities. There will be the entrance to a conqueror's hall, and then you can see the different guild statues, which gives them more significance, which is, I think, is cool. And then from there you go to the portal. So there's a lot of thoroughfare through the conqueror's hall, which is nice. So that makes people actually realize that there is something like this, which is good. More achievements, spell effects, rework to look better, cool. Added a new potential uncommon boss encounter to keep a randomized dungeons, nice.
Okay.
Visuals for Judicator armor sets have been reworked and improved. All right. Cooler looking Judys. All right.
We've already talked about this part. We know about this. This is no, we know.
No, the visuals, right?
No, item power progression changes in mastery modifiers next.
You pick the next one. I'll try to find a screenshot of that.
Yeah, get a screenshot of those awesome items. And I will go to Tier 7 and 8 mob fame changes. As the new Outlands offer an increased number of high-tier zones, as well as increased access to these zones for all players, the silver and PvE kill fame given by T7/T8 mobs has been reduced. Oh. Additionally, new Avalonian Grail buff will be increased fame from killed mobs by 10%. Oh. So a little column A, a little column B there. Goes down, goes up. Okay. Royal Zone changes. The following Tier 5 red zones have been changed to yellow.
What?
Yeah, you heard me. The following Tier 5 red zones have been changed to yellow zones. Willowwood, Hornbeamed Wood, Snapshaft Trow, Slow Tree Plain, Gutras Hill, Lewiston Hill, Night Creek Marsh, Sleetwater Basin, Carn Glasgow, and Carn Fidair.
I got much more important news.
Yeah, what do you got?
The look of the new Judicator.
Ooh.
That's way more important.
Yeah, send me a link.
There you go. That's the Tier 8.
Oh, nice. That guy looks like he's mad.
Zoom in a little.
You zoom in a little bit.
That is apparently the reworked visuals of the Judicator armor, the one you see right now as a Tier 8. City. So do you want to move on then? Realm Gate changes.
We can.
Portal locks will be removed, and then the Realm Gate pass-through will activate a new portal binding. So portal locks will still exist, but for Queen there will be a lock reset. That's okay, cool. And of course, Carlion doesn't have a portal anymore. We knew that.
I wonder what's going to be there.
City crafting bonus changes. Improved display of city crafting bonus. Increased the city-specific refining bonus of royal cities and their island from 35 to 40%.
Ooh. Bogul's
That's refining.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Bogul's going to be moving his refining to the outer cities now. And he's like, ooh, 5%. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. I will begin transporting immediately.
The question is how big the bonus is in the highest or any sort of outland city. Let's see if you can actually see. You can. If you click around the map,
you can.
I click to the zones. Then some of them say refining. Let's go to the center. See the biggest ones. Tier 8. What, 17%? What? 17%? 17. Yeah, it seems the refining bonus in the Tier 8 Outlands Zones is 17%.
I got 18% right here.
Mine says 17. But for the gear, the gear is 33%, which is differently from the cities, right? Which is I think only 15. Right?
40.
So you have
It just went up to 40.
with the gear? No.
The resource. No, okay. No.
Right. So
Okay.
the refining is higher in the Royal Cities. So in the Royal Cities, it will be 40. The highest one I just saw in the Outlands in terms of territory refining bonus was 17. But I also saw in the Outlands the gear refining, the gear crafting bonus was 33%, which is comparatively to the Royal Cities is 15%. Interesting.
Yeah, they got some crazy bonuses here, like 143% bonuses for quarterstaff.
I don't know what the difference between 15 and 133 is. I don't think there's a 133% bonus. I think that's.
I know, it's just some weird numbers that we're gonna have to suss out
Figure
later.
out what
Yeah,
that
I don't know
means,
what the heck
yeah.
they mean yet. Alrighty. Outlands treasure changes, or Avalonian crafting changes first. Remove to the season rewards tab from the energy manipulator. Okay, good to know. They can now be crafted at the following locations: the basilisk at the manipulator, the Avalonian food can be made at, I don't know, a cook, and the tools could be probably made at a tool maker. All right,
Sure.
Outlands treasure changes. Lesser Outlands treasures spawn every 5 hours, and greater Outlands treasures spawn every 7 hours. Treasures spawn at castles and castle outpost at cluster prime time on Saturdays and Sundays. Double upkeep, claim cost, and attack cost for territories to match increased rarity. Okay.
Doubled upkeep. So we know exactly how much territory upkeep. Wait, what?
No.
Oh, yeah. Territory upkeep costs. Okay. I don't know them by heart, but people who do guild finance know now how much territories cost. Not hideouts, territories. Randomized dungeon and dungeon map changes.
Oh boy, this
Chests
is a
will
good
no
one.
longer unlock if too many mobs have been alerted but not killed en route to the chest. This includes mobs that have aggroed and de-aggroed and mobs bypassed while invisible.
Ooh.
Rats. Somebody called the exterminator.
We've got. Hey, everybody! Guess what? We all have the. We all have the appropriate images for this now. Thank you, Quanta. We appreciate it, Quanta Gaming Cafe. Woo.
Yeah, F in chat for the rats. This is interesting. You can now transmute 5 solo randomized dungeon maps into 1 group map and 5 group maps into 1 elite dungeon map at the Artifact Foundry. Ooh. Wait, can I do? Is this live on test server? Can I do this? Can I try the elite dungeons tonight? Hello, guild. I think I need to leave this stream and ask a bunch of people to try these if this is possible.
Xavier, how many people are in your guild right now? You're not Xavier. Bogul, how many people are in your guild right now?
2.
Okay. Time to do some random dungeons.
The maximum distance
GTA.
maps will be able to find a dungeon has been reduced, with 0 being the cluster, from a group to 3 to 2 and solo 3 to 1. Okay, so less running around when you pop a map. Okay.
I like that. That's a good thing.
Other changes. The number of fragments needed to enchant items has been doubled. To put enchanting via fragments more in line with other ways of getting enchanted. Fragments. What are fragments? The trash icon has been updated for better visibility. All right. Thank you. Change main tutorial area from hideout to cove. Okay. Changed how some items are characterized, and thus they show up on the marketplace. All right. That's renaming. That's okay. What are fragments, chat? Are these the ones you get from these shades in the outlines?
Chat, we also have another drawing going. I believe this is going to be the final drawing of the evening.
No, that's essences. Never mind. I don't know what fragments are. We will figure this out. I mean, maybe it's rune salts and relics. Yeah, try that.
Yeah. Oh God, Bogul. Now we're into combat changes. All right, axes. Whew. Are we ready for this?
Remove the per stack healing reduction. Instead, 3 stacks of Randing Bleed applies 20% healing reduction. Debuff which lasts for 3 seconds. This debuff can't be stacked. So access OP, let's revert. Let's change it up.
Okay. Yeah.
Which lasts for 3 seconds.
Yeah. That.
And then you have to wait another time to get 3 stacks, and then.
No, I think this 3 stack stays. If I'm reading this, the stacks stay doing the bleed, but the stacked healing debuff is removed, and instead, if you get 3 of them stacked, you then get 3 seconds of 20% healing debuffed. All right, I think that's the way that it works.
Mounts intended for transport had their transport stats increased, while those intended for battle had their transport stats decreased. Transport stat is apparently, if you click the mount, it says your max load, right? I think that's the one. How much stuff you can carry. Let's see. Dire Boar doubles its weight. Wild Boar doubled. Oh, everything has, right. It looks like it basically gets doubled in a bunch of situations across the board. So Dire Boar, Wild Boar, Dire Boar, so that's the Winter Bear, Grizzly Bear. They all got more. The Command Mammoth has been nerfed significantly because it's super hard to kill, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. And there's more carry weight changes. Battle mounts get a reduction, so you don't use the battle mounts to carry around high value gear.
And that's largely, I would say, because they're trying to make the carrying of hideouts be done by carrying, not battle mounts. That's my guess.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Fixes. But displacement immunity fixed. Okay. Fixes, yeah, okay.
All right, let's get to the fixes here. Oh boy, spell.
I don't think these
it's almost done.
I don't think these matter very much in detail because it's just a bunch of fixes to stuff that's sort of broken.
All right, I'm glad to hear that. Good to know. Good to know.
And that's it. Aw, it's over already.
Yeah. Holy freaking crap-tastic, Bogul. All right, I have to go log into the regular server now. Give me a moment.
Do you mean the test server?
No, regular server.
Oh, why?
Because I have to look at the map. I believe I have to put on the visual effects while we bring Marty in here. Do you want me to look at the map or not?
Oh, Marty. We do have Marty. Why? What? Who? Okay, how do we set this up, Shozen? As the end of the show, the last bit of the show. He disappeared. No, Shozen.
Well, I just don't want to put my sign in up on the screen. Give me a moment.
All right. Okay. Now we can. Oh. If you remember,
hold on. Just wait a moment, Bogul. Everything will be fine.
If you remember, last week on this Friday, we did Fanfic Friday, where we had the chance to discuss things with a correspondent from the Fort Sterling town of Albion, where we got to talk to a Dodger Stones from I think the Fort Sterling organization of Central Sophistry.
Yeah, we didn't get that lucky this time, Bogul. I think we just got some kid.
What? Well, we do have some correspondence scheduled to appear on the show, right?
So when we've reached out to people a number of times to try to get help, usually I'm looking for somebody, between the ages of 24 and 80, somebody who, has lived a little bit of life and can just tell us about their experience here in the video games and maintain a positive and respectful attitude. Sometimes that's not so easy to find. This time I think I got a kid, and he plays in Martlock. His name is Marty. He does all the invasions, and I'm going to let you introduce him, and I'm going to go just work on the map, I guess, while you talk to him mostly, I guess. So
Okay, yeah, yes, let's see. So based on my note sheet, it says we will be talking to our point of contact in Martlock. His name is Marty. Let's see. I don't hear him yet.
All right. Hey, Bogul, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here to do the reporting because you said you wanted reporting done specifically on the invasion from the perspective of somebody from Martlock. Martlock is the place that I generally play from. Yeah. This is definitely the part that you brought me in for to talk about, like just strictly doing. That's definitely going to talk about Martlock.
Cool. So Marty, good to have you on the show, on the Albion TV show. Thanks for taking the time. We have heard some interesting news about what's going on in Martlock. Why don't you give us your perspective on what's going on?
Oh boy. So my guild leader's having us basically just get stoned. As you know, Martlock, we're a lot of stones in the Highland, a lot of definitely cool. Just there's no cool stones. There's nothing cool about stone. Oh, jeez, buddy. Yeah. I guess what we do is we get stones, and every day we have CTAs, and my GM, he says you gotta go get the stone, and we go and we get stone. And
you have guild CTAs to gather
stone? Yeah, we do. Yeah. You gotta go to the CTA to get the stones. Yeah, you don't want to not get the stones for your GM. This is gonna be freaking terrible. Stones has been really a pain in the ass lately, Bogul. As I'm sure you know, we have an invasion
I'm
going
a little
on.
Curious about the situation in Martlock. That's why I asked you to give us a little bit of insight there.
Oh, yeah.
We have been having some trouble with the Avalonians, and there has been a lot of reports of these guys attacking the cities, the outlands. Have you seen any of them in the areas around Martlock?
Definitely. Well, not around Martlock, but we go through the blue portals. Martlock is a blue portal city. Blue portal, best portal. West Coast, best coast. We've got all the best guilds. We have W04, which is the best guild in the game. According to stats, if you look at the leaderboards and rankings. But I don't know if anybody else would say that if they weren't looking at the leaderboards. You also have Zorn. Zorn's a really good guild if you're into Germans. We also have Arditi, the ultimate Italian guild. They also hang out here on the West Coast. They do a lot of hanging out. I don't know what they do besides that. Then you have Phrasing, led by the great Kantos Khan. Yeah. He doesn't do much. They kind of stay there, right over there on the coast. So it's fine hanging out with those guys. But if you want to go and get like a lot of stone out in the blue zones, it's been really a pain in the ass lately because we got these. Oh man, there's been an invasion of these freaking, I don't know, it's like these drones. They're flying orbs of living light, and they got metal around them, and they just shoot these laser beams at you, and it's just like, oh my god, you go to bend down and pick up stones, and the next thing you know, you're just freaking blasted in the ass by the fucking lights. Oh god, Bogul, man, I just wanted to get stoned.
So you have definitely seen these, and they are attacking you guys in Martlock as well. Is that what you're confirming here, sir?
Oh, well, not in Martlock itself, man, but when you do go out into the black zones and you go through those blue portals. Like I said, Martlock is a blue portal city. We all really, really enjoy having a blue portal. Blue portal, best portal. Yeah, you go through that portal, the Avalonians are there, and they are drones, And, oh God, there was a giant freaking metal eagle, Bogul. It was an eagle. It came down out of the sky. I had to run for my life. It could not. I'm not equipped to handle these things.
A metal eagle? What are these made of? Just metal? That doesn't work. That's not...
Well, the weird part is the metal isn't even connected to the other metal. It's like it's just floating there by magnets. And it's all you know, magnets are magic. The work of the devil. The devil. I gotta go, Vogel. I gotta get out of here. There's a CTA right now. I've just been told I gotta go get more stone. Shit. No,
one more question.
I need to get what? Oh God,
one more
hurry
question
up.
before you go. So you said you've seen these Avalonians appear more frequently. Do you know where they come from?
Yeah, Bogle, we all know where they're fucking coming from. They're coming from Avalon. I gotta go.
What?
There's
have you
just
been to Avalon?
yeah. It's if you go through the blue portal and then you go. But I can't talk about that right now. I gotta get to the CTA. I need stones. My guild leader, he's really oh boy. You don't want to know what he does if you don't get enough stone. You know, some guilds you have to leave. There's no leaving my guild. I gotta go.
Tell us more about these.
There's stones, Bogle. I gotta get the stones. I'll be back later. You talk to me another time. I gotta go.
All right. Man, these correspondents. I think you knew where Avalon was. What Avalon is.
Yeah. He's on the NDA. I think he's like somebody's grandkid who's like one of the GMs or something like that. I don't know.
One of the GMs? Wait, are you saying that Albion GMs are like that?
No, I think he's somebody's grandkid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was. I'm glad you had to talk to him, not me. I'm kind of tired of kids. His name isn't Morty; it's Marty. I'm pretty sure. Like he would be offended if you called him Morty. That's just wrong.
Wow. Okay. Is that our show then for today? It took
that was a long,
1.5 hours today.
long show. And I'm ready to be done, Bogle. This is supposed to be a half-hour show. Did you know that? The Fridays are a half-hour long show, but we had just so much work to do that it was painful.
Does Marty shot call? I think that's a good question.
Man, geez, I don't know. I'm not part of his guild. He said he's in, like, I talked to him before the show, and we were talking about how I used to be in conflict, and, it's a gamer dad guild, and he said something, he goes, yeah, my guild is like a gamer granddad guild. So I don't know which guild that is. If there's some old-ass guild full of old people, a bunch of granddads over in Western Anglia, somebody could let me know. One specifically, maybe that's been around for longer than most of you guys are alive or something like that. Look for something like that. That's probably a granddad guild, I would say. Looking for stone. Wow. It sounds like he has to do a lot of stone gathering.
Shozen, let's get out of here.
Yeah. All right. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 18 UTC on twitch.tv/Albion Online, or check us out anytime you like. YouTube.com. SoundCloud.com/AlbionTV. Anything else we should say, Bogle?
I suppose you can also watch us casting live crystals and GVGs at the 19 and 20 UTC time slot at Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If we can have Lupak and Tazik come on the show as well. A quick announcement, I suppose. We will have one more show a week next week before we go on Christmas break, but we will talk about the Christmas break enough in the next week, I suppose. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this very long-winded patch notes thing. We didn't plan for that. We knew we were going to go over with the normal thing, but doing another 45 minutes
yeah.
on the other thing? Well,
We knew we were going to be like an hour. I didn't know we were going to have test notes as well. Jeez, it's a 2-hour long show today. Man. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to pull my very last raffle. You guys have about 45 seconds to get in on that, and then we're going to be out of here. This is going to be the longest SoundCloud episode we've ever had. Yeah, these guys are going to be in for a treat on a Friday. It's like they get to binge watch one episode.
by the way, if you don't know, you can download the test server patch right now. It's live, where you can check out all the changes coming with Queen. Maybe that's a good something to discuss on the weekend with your guild, with your friends. Link them the patch notes, try out some things, break some things, because I think that's the point of this, trying to break the server right now, so we don't have to deal with a broken Queen in January.
Sounds good.
Exclamation mark raffle. Everybody in?
Everybody's in, I think.
chance.
I'm going to pull it right
Last
now.
call.
Doesn't matter. They don't have another. There's. Oh, Bogul. You just added one more. All right. And we have Visual Litter. Okay. Visual Litter. All right. I like it. Congratulations. Oh, and they just chatted with the Grinch. Okay. That's a nice little Grinch image. I like it. Cool. All right. Yeah. Visual Litter, you have to message me. Hi. Just whisper me, and then you will win a prize. I just need you to whisper so that you can actually claim it. All right. Thank you to everyone who showed up today, put up with the very long episode and the very cringy event at the end of the show.
I think it was great fun. We can do this more, Shozen.
Oh, God. Yeah, we'll do it a ton. I'm just sure it'll be
Next
fantastic. Yeah, we'll find somebody else to bring in on Friday.
Okay.
All right.